going on, brothers and sisters? Oh man. Oh, we about to clown and have a little fun, man. I'm up here. As you can see, I'm on this beautiful tropical paradise with or should I say over here with the beautiful pineapple, just getting some sun, and a little bit of pineapple juice there, which I don't know, that's kind of strange, pineapple drinking pineapple juice. You're listening to it's something that I produced on a while back. I composed a song and couldn't put that really just a sketch. It's just meant to be, a little sketch for the band to listen to. But I like that part because that's me on the keyboard. I'm like, I'm kind of happy with what I was doing in that particular song. But what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How you guys doing? As you can see, we have experimenting with some new technology, and actually I've been working very, very, very hard on the e-course, and let me reveal the e-course cover. So a lot of you've heard me talk about the e-course forever. That I've been working on this thing for just a long time. But I like things to be right. I like things to do what they're supposed to do and be right. And even though I thought that it was time several years ago to push myself and get it done, it wasn't time. But the time is right now. And so I've been making, this is sort of a preview because I'm using a green screen with it, and kind of doing this, as you see here. I'll give my presentations in this manner where I have the, let me show you what I'm talking about. That's not what I want to do. But anyway, I give my PowerPoint presentation with maybe this is the way to give my PowerPoint presentation like that, where I don't think it changed on me, but anyway, so how you guys doing? Echo, let's see. Oh, is the audio doing something? But anyway, so, how you guys doing? Echo. Let's see. I don't know. I just listened to it, and I'm not hearing an echo. We see avocado anonymous meeting. Yeah, that's yes. Avocado mucus and pus. Hopefully, just mucus anonymous. And we get off the pus, which is animal products. We want to get off of that pretty quick. Sup, pineapple head. Right. So hey, I'm trying some new stuff out. I'm gonna try to keep with the live chat. Keep an eye on it. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to chime in. And what I was thinking about doing in this show is, you always like to examine pus and mucus culture. And I talk about that a lot, but I think sometimes people don't really know or understand what I mean when we talk about pus and mucus culture. So first of all, for people that don't know, I practice something called the Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Ehret. And I've practiced this since for almost about 15 years. And I used to be a 300-pound, very sick person when I was 18, 19 years old. And when I was 19, I got into the Mucusless Diet Healing System. And it totally changed my life, just transformed. I probably should have my before and after picture just ready just to show, but you can go on the website mucusfreelife.com and you can take a look at that. But just transformed my life. I learned about the diet from Brother Ehret, aka Willie Smart, and it was just read the book. If you haven't read the Mucus-free Diet Healing System, please just check out the book. We put out an annotated version that's Professor Arnold Ehret's Mucus-free Diet Healing System, annotated, revised, and edited by Professor Spira. And essentially it has the original content for the most part. Anytime I made a change, I would say why and would explain. So I encourage people to get various, if you get the original, there really almost is no original unless you get the one of the old 1924 editions. I got several of those down there. There's various versions of it when you go, whether you go to Benedict Luss Publishing or Ehret Publishing, 1956 or 37. It's like all these different years and versions. And so I've kind of made it my my mission to check out all these different versions and compare and contrast them and all that kind of good fun stuff. But so back to pus and mucus culture. So a lot of people don't realize if you take pus and mucus forming foods out of the equation, you take it out of everybody's diet. Take it out of the diet of our government officials. Take it out of the diets of the police officers that are beating people up and shooting and murdering people. Take it off of the rapists and the murders. Take pus and mucus forming foods out of their body, out of their diet. And my guarantee is that these people will be incapable of doing the things that they are doing that harms other people and harms themselves. It will be taken care of. That is the answer. So for everybody that's out there that's searching for an answer for humanity and peace and world peace and love and let's just get along, if you're not talking about getting rid of pus and mucus forming foods, you're not talking about any kind of possible world peace, any kind of calm, rational society. Impossible as long as pus and mucus forming foods are on the plate of the majority of the people in a so-called society. It just does not, it's not going to work. And so, the premise is that to be driven to do certain things, you have to be stimulated by some fairly intensive poisons. So a lot of people know or have themselves experienced or have seen other people that drink too much alcohol and they lose control of their faculties or their emotions, and sometimes they get mad and might want to start a fight. Other times they might want to go have sexual escapades. Other time, all these different variations of what people like to do if they get real drunk, or if they smoke something. No, just because I have dreadlocks, I'm not a supporter of smoking marijuana. So stop trying to ask me if I can sell it to you. Thank you. I don't know. I don't have any marijuana on me. That stereotype with almost can't walk down the street without somebody saying, "Hey, come here. Hey, what's up? You got that good? You got that good?" Like, no, I don't got that good. I'm not a weed salesman. Sorry. Not sorry. Stop profiling me. But and so, just imagine that if you've never had that happen to you, just imagine that, like, that as a part of your life. You walk down the street and people come up to you assuming that you have marijuana to sell them or to give them. Pus and Mucus Society. That is yet another example. Pus and Mucus Society. Let's see what's going on in the live chat. Yeah, agreed 100%. Michael saying no one ever eats fruit and then goes and harms someone. That's more of a McDonald's type of culture. Yeah, exactly. There was a documentary I saw that talked about the suicide bombers for 9/11, and a part of that, and there was no analysis. They just breezed over it. I think they said that some of the suicide bombers had went, I think it was Pizza Hut or something. They went to eat at a fast food restaurant, then jumped in a plane, and did whatever it is that ultimately happened. The part of the story, because I don't know what happened, and I'm not. All I know is pus and mucus is at the foundation of it. So whatever you believe about 9/11 or anything else, any of these other tragedies, no matter what it is you believe, pus and mucus is at the foundation of it. I mean, that's the one thing we know. See, and that's sometimes when people like to get into the conspiracy ideas and this kind of stuff, and it's like, yeah, we can debate about that and we can talk about it and look at the evidence for different things and that kind of stuff. But my thing is, at the end of the day, we know what's going on. I mean, it's not a secret to us, because pus and mucus is the foundation of whatever it is. So the people that think that they're running stuff and think that they're, got all this money and all this, these, whatever, the hidden hand, they're dying of the same thing that the poor people they're oppressing is dying of. They get heart disease and colon cancer just like the folks that's on the streets. And so they don't have any private special information, in my opinion, because they can't even heal themselves. And so we can heal ourselves, and we've been healing ourselves and helping other people heal from things that they think they have to die from. I always give the example of Ronald Reagan. The last 15 years of his life, he was, they wouldn't even let him be on camera. I heard he was going through whatever illness he was going through, where he couldn't, kind of wheelchair, and I'd had to look it up to see exactly what it was, but I know he wasn't getting around, and so it's deep, the pus and mucus. So now all one says nothing wrong with smoking bud every once in a while. And down here, best place to smoke bud is in nature, around a fire, in a natural environment, on a full moon night. I mean, I respectfully disagree. I know there's a lot of folks out there. Y'all want to get busy with your herbs and all that kind of stuff, and that's I'm not. I don't care. Do what you want to do. My message and my experience. I used to smoke weed. I used to drink. I could drink people under the table. My night in college, I would drink like about a half a bottle of Captain Morgan's rum. Then that would just get things going, and maybe have a 40 of malt liquor, then smoke a blunt with the boys, and that was the beginning of the night. Then you go out and do whatever, running around college campus, insanity, and then you find yourself at Taco Hell, getting several bunch of burritos and tacos and Mexican pizzas. They should rename it. I don't think those pizzas have anything to do with Mexico. But my thing is, when you get clean enough, there was one time where after I had been practicing the Mucusless diet for a period of time, and I've been cleaning myself up, and I went back and I smoked weed, and it was with a friend of mine, and he was practicing too, and he was kind of still on it. I had been off of it, And I went back one time and smoked it, and it made me feel horrible. It was, and my friend felt fine, so it wasn't like it was some bad weed or something. He was feeling fine. It made me feel terrible. And I've noticed that with both going back to foods that are not good after cleaning myself up for a while, as well as any drugs and stimulants, any of that. So once you get yourself to a certain point where you are really clean and you've experienced that sobriety, and you've experienced what it feels like. I mean, I've been fasting almost 2 weeks, and for me, there's no drug that I'd ever done. There's nothing I've done. There's nothing that I've ever eaten that feels better to me than the way I feel when I'm in a good fast. And if I was to smoke weed right now during this fast, I would get all kinds of anxiety right here in my chest, my stomach. I'd probably get brain fog. It's a neurotoxin. There's nothing healthy about it and that natural about it. So that's my opinion. But that's why people, I'm pretty unpopular. Don't want to. Like all the pus and the mucus forming foods, getting rid of all that, and no smoking, and you're not drinking, like you're no fun. It's like, oh, you sit up here and fast and eat fruit and stuff, and it's so it's fine, if that's boring to you, then but that's kind of the whole point. When you're stimulated like that. And the best example I can give for myself that I remember is before and after the diet. Before the diet, I used to be into, I would like a good fight. Like I would, or just that element. As I go to clubs, go to dance clubs, and me and my boys would go and it would either get in a scuffle and talk mess, and we trying to holler at members of the opposite sex, just this whole environment. And it was fueled by, I found out it was fueled by what I was eating. Because as soon as I changed my diet, started doing enemas, was cleaning myself up, my desire to go to these nasty clubs and these bars and get into little fights, get into trying to, do one night stands or whatever that everybody wants to try to do at these clubs, that went out the window. I didn't want to do any of that anymore. And about 6 or 7 months into practicing the diet, I'd lost a bunch of weight already, and I hooked up with my old friends one time, and I went to a club with the guys. I went out just because it had been a long time and I'd been totally off into this other thing. So I kind of peeked my head back up into my old life once, and it just wasn't fun. And all my friends, I wasn't drinking, all my friends, they were drinking a bunch of stuff and smoking and stuff. And I was like, I think I was probably even on a fast. And it was, and so it's, all I'm saying is clean yourself up. Lemon juice enemas. If you want to get high, put a bunch of lemon juice with some distilled water and get an enema rolling, and that's and if you fasted, that'll make you feel pretty good. He said, "Oh, that's the feeling I want." He said, "Oh, I feel that I can't smoke while fasting and stop long after. You can't smoke and be surrounded by the energy because it heightens your state of mind if you are in natural environment and eating healthy." And so I mean, for me, I just I used to smoke tobacco, and all of that went out the window once I really started cleaning myself up. Once I just got myself clean, all of those stimulants or downers or whatever you want, the technical terms for the different. We like to just call everything a stimulant. It's all stimulants, sort of within the Mucusless diet realm of logic. But So what we'll maybe do, if you guys have a strong enough stomach, I wanted to just go on YouTube and look at what I'm talking about when I say pus and mucus culture. Give you some specific examples of what I am talking about. And let's see. So first we're gonna, viewer discretion advised, or warning: graphic content. The following images and or content may be disturbing to some viewers, and viewer discretion is strongly advised, because I know if you don't like this kind of stuff, or if you're not the type of person that wants to really investigate and analyze pus and mucus culture and what's really going on and just the mindset of it, then then go on ahead and turn away. turn away, because we're gonna watch some videos of some guys making themselves sick, eating pus, eating putting ridiculous things in their body, making them sick, and getting famous for making themselves sick on YouTube. It's just insanity, and especially when you look at it through mucus-free lens. You look at it, you clean yourself up just long enough, and you look at this kind of stuff, and it's just like, what is going on? This is so. All right. That's not. Let me find. Bear with me. This is not doing what I thought it would do. Let me see. And I appreciate the patience, because I'm dealing with all kinds of new stuff. Let me see here. If I thought that I had this set up. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go to YouTube. Then we're going to look up vomit alert restless eating, or reckless and restless. Reckless eating. So I made a video where I used a clip of these guys a while back, and I mean, this is just, so this whole channel are guys that eat, they eat and drink just really, really weird, rotten stuff. So they might get a 100-year-old rotten egg and eat it, or drink rotten, just insane stuff. And part of what they do on most of their, like, let's see, they got like this thing, whatever, this little egg, with like an egg that has a partially formed young chicken or hen or what, just this kind of stuff. So this whole entire channel has they've over 600,000 subscribers. Just insane. And almost every episode someone throws up. That's their thing. They film themselves eating this stuff, and then they throw up. And so there was a video where go back down, where they had the top 10 vomits of these guys.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not like there's one of these. This is the top 10. On their channel, they have like dozens, maybe hundreds of these.
Tuning up the old band.
All right, here we go. Countdown.
Pus and mucus, pus and mucus, society. Eat that pus and mucus, eat that pus and mucus. Then kill me, then kill me.
When did we just start vomiting on this?
And see, the reason I talk about this is because we gotta start blaming the right thing. Cooked foods didn't do this. You know, for those of you, because some of y'all like the hardcore Ralph, you know, cooked people. Cooked food didn't do that. You can have mucus-free cooked foods, and I can guarantee you will not be compelled to do what these guys are doing. But the only way that you can be compelled to do this is if you eat pus and mucus forming foods. That there's no other way. You can eat cooked foods. You can eat cooked mucus-free foods, practice a mucusless diet, and you're not gonna do this. This is not gonna be part of your lifestyle or something that really interests you. But this is it. I mean, this is what pus and mucus culture looks like. I mean, this is, you know, I get 100, 200 views on my videos, depending on what it is. And even those of us that's in the plant-based world that's a little more popular, you know, maybe get a couple 10,000 views, 50,000, you know, 100. These guys, some of their videos, they have millions of views. And so that's what it looks like to have, you know, pus and mucus culture that is running things. Like that is the pinnacle of all right. It's okay. That was a little much. That guy, another man put his finger in the mouth of another man to help him throw up. It's bad. It is bad. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, they got a bunch of subscribers. That they had over 600,000 subscribers. It said. Yeah, they got a serious parasite problem. Even when I ate mucus and pus, I wasn't that damn stupid. Yeah, I mean, really, you know, it's but that's the whole culture is rife with this stuff. So what's there was a show on was that Man versus Food or something. I had seen this, I think, on TV a long time ago, and this guy just eats. It's like him versus this food, and sometimes he'll go up against people. What's this badass burrito challenge? What's this? So this host just stuffs himself with these award-winning, like where it's just so much food, and so this is like pus pornography. This is pornography for pus and mucus world. Where it's so cute. Bring the kid in. The kid's all wholesome, all American fun. Bring in the ladies. Oh yeah. All right.
Adam, I'm a psychotherapist. I have a positive affirmation for you.
Go for it.
You are the king of gastric feats. You
Okay.
should repeat that in your mind. You can do it.
Says he's the king of gastric feats.
With an uplifting mantra in my mind, I'm taking one more shot at the B3.
Jeez.
Let's just see how far we can go. You know, you climb Mount Everest because it's there. Here's the B3. I may as well pretend it's K2.
And they always got a room full of people cheering them on. Yay for Pus and Mucus! Woo! Always get a good cheer.
But the next bite stops me in my tracks.
I was rooting for him, but I gotta tell you, the last few minutes, man's in
Oh
trouble.
wait, here's some. The carnivore challenge.
I'm at Big Pie in the Sky, just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. My partner Drew and I are attacking a 30-inch, 11-pound meat-laden pizza called the Carnivore. We're trying to become the first
Called the
duo ever
Carnivore.
to win the challenge and claim $250
Man versus food.
in-house
The carnivore
cash.
Go
challenge.
big or go home at this point.
In a world where Pus and Mucus
Yeah.
runs rampant and runs the day.
Holy schmookies. All right.
It's been 15 minutes, everybody. Let's hear it.
Let me go help Drew out.
They just gotta. It's like what's nice about this. You practice the Mucus diet and you see this kind of stuff, and it's almost like having a time machine where you're coming from the future and you are viewing things. It's like going back to the Middle Ages where people say, oh, it was so primitive back in the Middle Ages. Well, the Middle Ages is still happening. That nothing, there's not a whole lot of evolution that has taken place since 500, 600 years ago. But it's like we get a chance to bear witness to the insanity that is the Pus and Mucus culture. That what comes out of it, the way the thinking process, this whole situation, just the spectacle of gluttony, the worship. It's a religion, the religious worship of gluttony. Man. Let's check out. I know there's a real popular one called what is that? Epic Mealtime. These guys are very popular. I think pretty sure they got several million. They got 7 million subscribers for Epic Mealtime. You can see their subscribers there. Over 7. Blows my mind. I mean, 7 million subscribers to watch these guys just glutton out. Let's see. I got rid of my TV, but always get a good laugh when I am with the fam. Yeah, I mean that's basically how you do it. It's just like you totally get away from all that. Just I'm a social scientist and ethnographer that examining the Pus and Mucus world, and so that is part of what I try to do is to put these things into perspective to kind of understand what's really going on. So let's see. Okay, this fast food lasagna that has 29 million views. So that's quite a bit. So I guess these videos they show them ordering.
10 minutes.
Sometimes they go and
ripping
buy
off
stuff.
strips of that bacon-ish.
Oh. And then they put the epic music to it, like it's this dun 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 dun.
Tasting meat poop.
Oh.
Some ground beef penetration. Tomato sauce. Jack Daniel's sauce and a meat sauce.
Just put everything in there. What? Hold on. What?
Jack Daniel's meat sauce. Your little brain.
Oh, come on.
That's
This-
the burger
this
baked
is silly.
baconator layer, player. More bacon strips. sour. Pack it in the team burgers.
I mean, it's
Middle
just
child.
they do not care. And I'm gonna pause because what, in all seriousness, what harms me is when some of these same folks doing this, when they're diagnosed, and I hope they get it together. I hope that they see this video, or they pick up this book, or they pick up another version, or I hope that they get it together, they clean themselves up, and they won't have any problems. I wish nothing but the best of health for everybody on this planet. But when these kind of folks eat all this stuff, and then when and if they do get diagnosed with colon C word or some other kind of C word, or if they pass away, there's people, they're always this look like, and this, I don't know what it was. Well, cancer runs in my family. It must have been that. I heard it's genetic. It was such a shame. No, you ate fast food lasagna. That'll do it. You don't blame that on your mom and dad. When you eat pus and mucus, don't blame your disease on your mom and dad. Have some respect for your parents. Come on. Take ownership. That's my thing, is take ownership. So eat that, and then when you are on your deathbed and you're sick, just make an affirmation about that. Like, look, I enjoyed my life. I ate a lot of terrible stuff. I know that's why I'm here, but doggone it, I did what I wanted to do. Fine, you got my respect in that case. But if you're going to lay there, and it happens over and over again, because once the pain sets in, it gets real. And oftentimes once the pain sets in and the limbs start coming off because there's gangrene in the feet, and the operations start to happen, then sometimes there's a little bit of regret. But the problem with pus and mucus culture is there's a whole lot of denial, way more denial than there is regret, because people don't think, due to all kinds of reasons and propaganda and all million reasons, people do not think that diet has that much to do with their illnesses, which is pure insanity. So my personal mission has been to at least wake people up that if I don't influence how anybody eats, I'm not in people's face talking about, okay, don't eat this, don't eat, but I will be in your face saying this harms not only you, but see, we have to cohabitate. We're living in the same world and environment. And so it's, how, and Brother Air brings this point up, when there's secondhand smoke, a lot of places in the U.S., you used to be able to smoke indoors. You could have a smoking section, or you could smoke inside. Most buildings and campuses, you cannot smoke anymore. And one of the reasons why I say, well, the secondhand smoke bothers people. So so you don't think the secondhand smell of pus doesn't bother people that aren't pus eaters and mucus eaters, and that the accidents that happen and the murder that happens, that is the result of this kind of eating. So you don't think that's to bring that up, and So it's a different angle, because a lot of people say, well, it's so you either got the animal rights activists and then the PETA thing, and so then that's like, okay, here's all the slaughterhouse videos and this, and do it for ethical reasons, and you hurt the animals and that kind of. But I got a little insight on the pus and mucus-based mind for the vast majority, 90% of those people. That type of messaging is not going to work, because it wouldn't have worked on me when I was eating pus and mucus. There was no slaughter. I laughed at slaughterhouse videos. I mean, that was how sociopathic you can be when you're eating pus and mucus forming foods, and so everybody's different. But with me, you wasn't going to convince me to go plant-based talking about, oh, you're harming the animals, and I don't care how extreme you took it. It wasn't until I started cleaning myself up, cleaning out my colon with lemon juice enemas, eating mucus-free foods. It wasn't until then and when I developed the empathy for other sentient beings on this planet. I had to clean myself up first. It wasn't studying. It wasn't being exposed to some hard truth. It was getting my insides clean. First and foremost. Then the empathy comes. See, that's what we got to understand. We got to do this stuff in the right order to really, if we really want to influence the folks to at least not harm others and harm us. If they want to harm themselves, but they shouldn't be able to be in a certain way within society where they can harm other people. And what we have to understand is eating like this harms other people. It harms more than just the person eating like this. Let's finish watching
Dripping
this.
1 liter of Big Mac sauce. Well, this is a sauce and lasagna. Cheese up this big old motherfucker. Big Mac on the top layer. Meat sauce and strips. Bacon strips. Onion rings for a crispy tip.
Just
Cheese.
because mucus. That's hashtag because mucus.
Who's hungry now? Who's hungry now? Beer, burger, bacon, buddies.
Pus and mucus, belligerentness, pus. I'm so stimulated. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna pick a fight with all these people around here. I'm gonna go watch the WWE, brother. And I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna go find me a woman. And then I'm gonna have a stroke and I'm gonna die.
Here, I want to go up the cheese ring and then you're gonna bite. Are you ready?
What do you want me to
I'm
bite?
just when I say bite, you bite.
Yeah.
What is it? Go, you go.
Bite.
Am I biting the
You.
cheese?
Just bite the burger.
Okay, that's enough of this. It's so all we can do is and the thing is, cleaning ourselves up actually starts the process of even changing that. So we have to understand the power that we actually have, that you have just by yourself, just you eating, and you can learning how to control what you put in your body and starting to clean yourself out. You start this, there's this polarity that starts to happen, because what I've predicted is that what's going to happen is the things are going to get really extreme on both sides. So on one hand, we're going to see people trying to skip the transition and eat, try to do these real long fasts and eat nothing but fruit for 5 years and all this kind of stuff. And that's not going to work, because you can't go from being anywhere near a fast food lasagna lifestyle and overnight become a fruitarian. What? But people think that, because the same kind of stimulated extremism that revolves around the pus extremism can sometimes be translated over into a raw fruits extremism when there's no transition. I mean, that's what I've seen to a certain extent. And that's why my message is always like, check out the transition diet and understand the transition methodology and permanently transform your physiology. Change your physiology to the point where you really earn that fruit level. You earn that level of fasting. You earn you earn that. and to me that's important. And to nature, Mother Nature, that's important, because there's a lot of folks that really go through it because they refuse to think that they have to transition. And let's see, let me read some of these chat. What we got going here? We say my stomach hurts. I'm going back to some of these older chats here. This is bad for you. This is as bad for you as poison. You're gonna start a day or two fast tomorrow and get on the grapes. Only eat fruits with seeds. Doesn't all fruit have seeds? Seeded grapes are hard to find. Okay, it was a discussion about seeds and fruits. Let's see. I'll just go on down here. So yeah, so that's what we're dealing with. The last episode of Epic Mealtime. What they, it's been, did they? I don't think they stopped doing episodes. Oh, eat a whole chicken. Oh, that's so not sexy. No. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Let's go back. Let's go back here. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So thank you guys for plugging in, and just kind of had some fun today. I know it's been a while since I've put out new videos, and I do plan on putting out quite a bit of new content coming up here within the next I planned on September. At some point in September, you'll start seeing some new videos. I'd filmed a bunch of things and just haven't had a chance to get in the editing room and edit, because I've been finishing up the all of the e-course stuff. So, but I wanted to learn how to live stream like this, where I got the I can move myself around. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of learn how to do this and see how it worked, because it's a little bit, a little bit more complicated than the average video to get all this set up. But so it's the first time I did it, but definitely appreciate all you guys plugging in and hanging out with me this evening. And see, it's quite heart health. It's still the Middle Ages, only now we have technology to create the mirage that we are in advanced ages. If only we had the kind of cheer and encouragement on our transition as Dude has on Man vs. Food. Indeed. Here. Quiet heart health. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, and that's what we have to build that ourselves, and it's going to be small. We start off small with the brothers and sisters that are awake and understand the just understand all we're talking about is nature. A transition back to nature. Nobody I know is, none of us are 100% perfect or there. It's a process, but once you apply the lifestyle, and sometimes you have to be around long enough to understand what realistic expectations are. What's the realistic expectations of how fast you can transition and what a transition looks like. And I know that more work needs to be done to show this, to put it out there in ways to really show what the transition looks like. Now, I got my book, Spira Speaks. I try to start the process. Spira Speaks: Dialogues and Essays on the Mucus-free Diet Healing System. So I put a lot of information in there that is stuff about my own personal transition. You know, mucus forming items I ate, the mucus lean stuff, a lot of that kind of stuff I put in there because sometimes when you get away from it, you forget about it. And so there's some stuff that I did that's not on the top of my mind because it's so many years ago. But that's why I tried to encapsulate it, in book form. So it's like, okay, we got it there so people can see. Because oftentimes, I ate stuff, nature burger kind of, there's a number of things that I ate that's totally mucus forming, but the way I ate it enabled me to wean myself off of it, knowing that it's mucus forming, but knowing that in eating those items and combining with mucus-free items and mucus-free foods properly, that I was moving away from what I might have been craving and some of the worst mucus-forming items that I might have been craving. And but we need more. We got Bo Yee. Shout out to Bo Yee. She's doing on her channel. She's trying to do she did last year. Every week she did a video that chronicled her transition. And a little bit hot in here because I got these bright lights to make this effect work. You have to put these real bright lights, and they're fairly hot. So even though my house is usually 82, but right now with these lights on, and it was probably about 92 degrees in here, so that's why I'm sweating a little bit. But Bo Yee, she was kind of following her transition with video logs and being real honest, being honest about stuff that she relapses, the mucus forming relapses. I got some videos, a series of videos that's addiction to mucus forming foods, pus and mucus forming foods, where we analyze it as an addiction within that type of methodology to really take it seriously. I mean, this is it's a real thing, to be addicted to mucus forming foods is a real thing. And we have work to do, to try to, we got to heal ourselves and clean ourselves up first and foremost. And then that energy will extend to our family and friends, that vibration. And, but we have to, conserve our energy and put it into ourselves in that way, because, it gets tough out there if you're trying to bring this information to a lot of people and you do it in the wrong way, then you become, the whipping post kind of, where, it's like I said before, one time, if for people that understand the reference to the Bloods and Crips gangs in the United States, if you're a Crip, you don't go walking around in Bloods territory by yourself unless you looking to be killed. And so if you're gonna go walk around in that territory, you bring your folks, or you wait until one of them is in your territory, in your world. And we gotta do more of that, where we create situations and events that's mucus free. Our community, our homes, our environments, our schools, and we put the event together. So instead of having epic mealtime spread, we have fresh juice being juiced over here at the juice bar, and the fruit spread, but the whole Woodstock Fruit Festival spread, like that. But we got to do that all over the country, not just in a couple little places. We have to bring that. And so we are the pioneers of this. So that kind of work does fall to us. So we can't sit around and complain. That was the one thing I didn't do, was sit around and complain about there's nobody around that does what I'm doing, that practices a diet. And I know not everybody has, is me, or has that type of mentality or skill set or anything like that. But my attitude was, I'm not gonna complain about it. If I'm lonely and I want a community, then I have to, or a family or anything that is going to be in line with my lifestyle, then I'm gonna have to do it. You know, I have to do the parties. I have to create the Facebook forum. You know, I have to, you know, we have to do that. We have to be the ones, because that's how early this stuff is. See, it's easy for the masses of people to jump on something once it has hit the mainstream, once it has made its way to Oprah and it's made its way to all of these kinds of things, and money has been pumped into it. People have found ways to get rich promoting it and all that kind of stuff. That's when something is like it already has legs. But we're dealing with the foundation and the pioneering stages of a truly mucus-free world. Because that's different. That's different from a raw foodist vision of the world. It's different from a vegan vision. It's a mucus-free vision that in my opinion, goes beyond all those other visions in terms of its advancement and its probability of happening. Because nothing's gonna happen without transition. And I don't care what you say or what you think. Everything. You know, transition is not a decision. Transition is a natural law. All we have to do is observe it. And that's one thing that I really, that's one thing that I have, that I know. And I do a whole other video on that, just observing the way that transition is the law and not just because there's some people that say, oh, well, you're not pushing hard enough. You know, you don't need to transition. You know, we're just fruit eaters. Just do this. And I'm like, okay, I mean, you can follow that advice. You can try to go down that road. But if you hit a ceiling and you find yourself unable to keep going down that road, don't go all the way back to where you were. Consider the transition diet. Consider the idea of gradually changing and shifting your physiology to the point where you transform. Everything transforms permanently. It's not a quick fix. It's not an overnight thing. It's not some fad gimmick of do this in a couple, 21 day fast and, seeing 21 days, the breatharian is, come on. This is real. This is a real thing. But once you start making these permanent changes and permanently cleaning yourself up, then it's real. I mean, there's stuff. If I wanted to go back, because I see raw foodists do this all the time. People that tried to be really strict raw foodists and fruitarians, and they'll be the ones that's the meanest. They'll have mean videos where they'll be shaming people like, yeah, you gotta do this, you gotta be raw, and if you're not raw, you're not real. You're not, just all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, either their YouTube channel is disabled, or they come out with a video talking about, I'm going to now I'm doing paleo, the paleo diet. The raw food is wrong. Fruits are bad. Paleo is where it's at. And I've seen this happen numbers of times. It's not like isolated incident. And in every case, the reason that is a thing that happens repeatedly is because these are people that did not transition, period. They didn't most of them, doubt, really studied the Mucusless Diet Healing System. And if they did, they didn't study the lessons that are called transition diet. And so there's a method. They say, a method to the saneness. They say method to the madness. There's a method to the saneness. Let's see. There's a question. Oh, there's a question about Tony. Yeah, Tony kind of he left public life, left public mucus-free life. But I definitely wish him all the best. And let's see. So anyway, that was this was interesting. This was interesting. And if you like that, once this video is posted, you say something in the comment section to keep doing these. I want eventually I would like to get a weekly show going. I've thought about that for a while, and we used to have a radio show called the Immortality Pipeline on WAIF 88.3 down in Cincinnati, and that used to just be fun. I mean, me and Brother Ehret get on there, and we would just we would go nuts. We was just totally off the hook. No political correctness. We did not care. Broadcasting out to all the folks in Cincinnati, we was just like. And what was funny to me was when I found out that there were people some of the people that told me that they listened to the show. Like I had a friend of mine's parents didn't know it was me, but they used to they were reverends and church going kind of folks, and they kind of middle kind of upper middle class Americans, and they listened to our show, so that kind of surprised me because I thought that folks who listen to us might be I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't think that that the average person would listen to us, but they did. So, but yeah, so I might get into some kind of weekly, something, come on here for an hour like this and just like more of that kind of radio show type of format, podcast or something. So I don't know. We will, let me know what you think about that. I will keep thinking about it and see what happens. So, let's see. We got Daryl makes me think about the woman who did the master fast system for more than a year and then went back to the ketogenic diet, and after that she went back to eating animals. Yeah. I mean that's it. I mean that's exact what I'm talking about. And there's far too many of these examples. And when it doesn't have to be like that, and I don't know, it's been hard. It's hard to make transition sexy for some reason. It's hard to make transitioning cool, because in the fad realms, it's cool to sort of, and I've done long fast and I've done long periods in fruit, and I've done a lot of these things. I've done, but I've done it within the context of my physiology and practicing the system, but I don't promote them. I don't get on here and talk about like, oh, I did this long fast, and half the time when I am fasting, I don't even mention it, to anybody, most of the time. And that was just a practice that I got into. Cincinnati kind of bred that, where you don't tell if you fast and you don't want no negative energy, you just didn't tell anybody what you were doing, so I just didn't say anything, and it didn't come up. Now if somebody asked me straight out, I wasn't gonna lie about it, so I would tell people at that point. If somebody's like, well, so what are you eating or what are you doing, then I would explain. But as far as just offering the information, no, because people start throwing you some weird vibes, and that can mess the fast up. So but it's something. It's something to try and that's our mission. Is to really let's put our heads together and find out how can we make transition cool. Transitioning has to be the new hip thing to do. It, as opposed to because one of the reasons that it's where people don't understand that there's a reason why it's really easy to eat nothing but fruit when you first start this type of lifestyle. When you start a mucus-free or a sort of fruit-based or these kind of lifestyles, if you didn't transition and you just sort of went straight into fruit because you saw other people do it, there's a reason, because you have all this old waste that's still in your body, in your system. And it takes a while to get this stuff out of there. And so for those first 2, 3, 4, 5 years, when a lot of people are, like, well, I've been raw for the past 5 years and I'm eating almost nothing but fruit kind of thing. Everyone's, sometimes people can handle it and they keep going with it, and that's great. But a lot of the people I see, it doesn't end like that, and so they get so many years and then get to a point where they don't know what to do because there's nobody even talking about transition around them. The one thing I tried to do was create a place where when people fell off of the all fruit periods and that real kind of heavy detox and the master cleanse, all that kind of stuff, when they can only go so far, there's at least a transitional methodology to go back to. Because people like Dr. Morris, he doesn't talk about lifestyle. He talks about his detoxification methods. And so I kind of saw what I was doing and talking about was, well, here's the lifestyle methodology that goes along with that kind of deep detoxification and cleansing, because you can't be on that forever, for the rest of your life. And the problem, and some people try, just like with that example down here where people trying to be on the master system for forever, for years at a time and that kind of stuff. And in the Mucusless Diet book, Ehret says don't fast. The longest he even recommends to fast just generally is 3 days. Do a 2 to 3 day fast. When you go past 2 to 3 days, you're on your own. You can't blame Ehret, and that's my thing. Because I'm not telling people to not experiment and to not, but really try to understand the principles. Understand the principles that Ehret lays out for fasting, for eating, and Mucusless diet. There's principles. And those principles can be applied to in a lot of different ways. But let me see some of these comments over here. It's a byproduct of our culture. Our attention spans have shrunk down. People want results and little to no work. Yeah. People want results immediately. Just no. Immediate gratification, as they say. They just want, just right away. Just okay, I'm great, and that's problematic. We got to get that message out there that it's okay to transition. Maybe that should be a video. That could be a ad campaign or something. Like, it's okay to transition. It's okay. You have our support. Because I just hate that. I hate to see that. There's another dynamic too. There's a lot of understanding the difference between uric acid type and or what Ehret calls a lean type and a fat type of physiology. He divides physiologies into two different types: a fat type and a lean type. And the lean types are the folks that can eat whatever they want and they don't lose any weight. So instead of coming up with some metabolism theory that most people, they blame that, oh, well, I have a high metabolism, I can eat anything. And I'm like, no, you have a lot of acid in your system. And I really thought that was profound. That's out of the Mucusless Diet and Ehret's analysis, where, because you can see that. It's self-evident to see, folks that are real slender like that oftentimes are there's an acidic nature overall, their physiology, and it's very hard for them to pick up weight. So their body basically deals with pus and mucus forming foods differently than, say, I do, because I eat a little bit of mucus and I gain weight, with no problem. Transition to what? Transition to a mucus-free diet. That's transition to a mucus-free diet, because it starts and ends there. Because we can't have a conversation about, like I said, world peace or the really seriously changing society. I got a lot of friends that are activists, and I'm I'm an activist, and I did, used to go out a lot more than I have in the past couple of years, but, go out to the different protests and all that kind of thing. But what I tried to bring to the conversation was, it's cool to get a lot of people together and to make these statements and try to be, try to have a righteous message, and fight for your own freedom. But we are only going to go so far until we understand that physiological freedom is first and foremost. And once we have movements that's based on that kind of consciousness, then they will be unstoppable. And so that's a challenge that I make, to when I'm out and around the hardcore activists. I make that challenge and say, if you can't complain about your oppressor when you live like them. So you can't complain about your oppressor and complain about the government and complain about Trump. And if you eat like him, you eat like George W. Bush, you eat like Obama, you eat like these folks and all these other people that are making decisions that affect your life. If you live like them, you have no grounds to complain. But if you want to be a real revolutionary, then learn how to control what you put in your body and learn how to become oriented toward foods that don't create chronic illness. I mean, that's Revolution 101. That's where we're at, and it's what we have to do to really transform things. It was like the one video I have where I said the SAT question, when there's a joint session of Congress, how many pounds of uneliminated fecal matter are in the building? So you had to do a little arithmetic, count up all the different, all the people that's in there, and how many, 10 to 15 to 20 pounds, and these are politicians, so there's probably 25 to 30 pounds of uneliminated fecal matter in the intestines and colons of our respectable gentlemen and gentlewomen of the Congress. We're talking thousands of pounds of uneliminated feces are making decisions that affect your life and my life. And you ain't gonna change that using a gun. Especially if you halfway over here, because we can't beat pus and mucus using their tools. Gun is a pus and mucus tool. That's for them. We're not gonna win nothing with that. Now if you protect yourself or whatever, that kind of thing. I'm not into guns because mucus. There's nothing. When I growing up in Boy Scouts, I shot guns, and when I was real young, I'd went and on a field trip, some kind of field trip to a police station, and as like Boy Scouts or something, and I could shoot the gun and stuff. But I never got that real. Some folks get real, like, sexually aroused by this whole, like, the power that they have. I can kill people. I can walk around with this gun. Oh, it feels good. It feels good to be able to kill people because I'm constipated. That's that, and you don't. Nah. I mean, that's you don't want to deal with that. That's not even something on your radar. When you clean yourself out, do a few enemas, and you eating fruit, man. That type of constipated type of mentality is not part of your thing. You just do not want to deal with that in that way. But So the revolution ain't gonna happen like that. You know, you can say the revolution ain't gonna be televised. The revolution ain't gonna be. The revolution ain't gonna happen at a TGI Fridays or a McDonald's where you have all parties are in the same place eating the same food. You got the people on one side, the protesters, the counter protesters, they going eating at the same place and living the same way. And so until we can, as a people, transition ourselves and then come together, then rise up, and it'd be an unstoppable force. I mean, it would be, and it will be. The vision I have is that overnight, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people could be, just by the vibration. Imagine 100 or 200 people all fasting, that's all practiced the Mucus diet for years, do a demonstration. I mean, the power that, because see, there's power in fasting, and I don't even talk about like, some that kind of stuff too much, because I like to stay to, kind of stick with the mechanics in the book and not get too off into this other stuff. But there are some real things that can happen through fasting, in the world that you live in, that where you indirectly influence vibrations, and you can even analyze it scientifically, because it comes down to vibrations, and there's something that happens when you start to emit this human nature vibration that it can transform people. If you've watched some of these, my vision of it is, if you've ever watched one of those movies with like a Jesus figure, the Jesus figure, or any other kind of like an anointed figure in the movie, and when this person would come in the presence of certain people, maybe it was like an antagonistic person or a mean person or a murderous person, but this anointed one came into the presence and laid hands upon these murderous scum of the earth sinners, and they just being in the presence of the anointed one and or to reach out and to touch, transform these people. And that's what I see with a demonstration, Mucusless diet, get 1,000 fasting people practicing the Mucusless diet showing up to do a demonstration. It can have such a vibrational impact that people that are within 50 miles could feel it. You have people that all of a sudden, they don't know why they're in the produce section buying fruit and vegetables. They don't know. They have no clue what's going on. They all of a sudden they feel like eating some apples, and that's real. That's real stuff. That's real stuff that can happen. But we have to understand that technology, and that becomes the study. For me, that's a study. I'm interested in learning that and understanding the mechanics of that, because I've experienced it. One part, and I won't talk too much about it, and I know I said I was going to be getting off here, but when I did my long fast, Brother Ehret was always fasting as well. So that was when he started doing really long fast, and I started doing long fast, and these are juice fasts. That's what Ehret promotes. You intersperse it. I would do water days and dry days and that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I'm a proponent of the juice fast, in terms of like a long-term sustainable form of fasting. But and that doesn't mean that there's instances where I will, I look at all these different fasting, and the proposition of fasting is really a relative issue, because it's different for each. As you transform and change what might have been a fasting, or as Ehret calls it, restriction, It's really based on restriction of whatever it is that you're used to. So if you restrict yourself from eating mucus-forming foods, or you restrict yourself from solid foods, these are all different levels. For me, juice fasting is still a fast, but the dry, Ehret doesn't promote dry fasting because he's said in most cases people really aren't ready, to go to that level. And I deal with the different levels when I work with clients. It's on a case by case basis. There's no, that's what I like about the Mucus diet. There's no cookie cutter type of thing with this. It's really based on each person and each person's situation. But yeah. That spiritual power and that transformative power. So for those of y'all that really want to see the world change, you can start the process in your own bathroom, with your own enema bag, with your own limes and lemons and apples and whatever it is that you use. We have to understand that power, that's real, and that you are affecting the world every time you do an enema, every time you eat some fruit, every time you transition, every time you eat a salad with some onion sauteed broccoli, and that's part of your transition. I ate a lot of that in the early years. Onion saute, I had big salad, onion saute, steamed broccoli, steamed cabbage, steamed kale, collard greens, cooked mucus-free foods, but always combine them with raw. I never just ate cooked mucus-free foods by themselves, and then cooked mucus-forming foods that were better than whatever I might have been craving. Part of the transition. But we gotta do that. Understand the power that we have. When your brother Ehret likes to bring up when women realize the power that they have to. Actually, there was on Instagram today, I saw a funny, somebody had put up, or maybe it was Facebook, but there was a funny image of, it was like a woman that had her legs like crossed like twice. It was like really crossed legs, and the message said, when, I forget what it said exactly, but it was something to the effect of, when a man says that they can't be vegan, like when a man says they're not able to stop eating meat, and it's like the crossed legs, but that's real, because that's gonna be a thing. And there's a lot of women that are getting to this information, and I got some videos with Takora. She's practiced the Mucusless diet for many years, and has a lot of wisdom and a lot of issues that we don't talk about enough on this channel. We're gonna start talking about it, and it's gonna come from Takora and other women that experience it. And but that having those type of principles and that type of standard, that in itself will transform some stuff, because if all of a sudden you're saying, okay, well, I'm not going to be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't practice Mucus diet, or that's at least plant-based, or something, or at least transitioning, or whatever standard you create. That's powerful. I mean, when people talk, wow, whew, power. You want to talk about real power now. That's a lot of people talk, worrying about all kinds of different kinds of power, and the power that they think they don't have in society and all this kind of stuff. I mean, we got so much power, but we have to have the moral compass and the discipline to enact it, and to be steadfast, and to have the vision and the understanding of what we're doing, and we can have all the power that we need to have right now, but that's real. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Quiet Heart Health said, this is life-giving, grateful to be able to plug in these videos, help keep me going. Oh, well, thank you, man. This is it's just, it's time. It's time for for this level of consciousness to emerge and you know, and start with the transition. And start, because anything can be gotten to using that. Anything. I mean, because anything that anybody's achieved is being done through transitional means. Whether it's, I have a bunch of, I got some degrees and I got a PhD in ethnomusicology. I didn't get that overnight. I couldn't rush that. I had to transition my educationally. It was a transitional process. The whole schooling process was just transition to the point where I could get to that, to that level of what was going on there educationally, and that's a whole other. I don't even get into the public school system. We'll be here all day talking about the pus and mucus involved in that. It's very sad, but so yeah. But anyway, it's been this has been fun. This has been very enjoyable. Apple juice enemas? No, I've not done an apple juice enema. I have done orange juice. I ran out of. I was snowed in one time. It was like a lot of snow, and I ran out of lemons or limes or whatever I had at the time, and I had some oranges left, and so I did an orange enema. That's about as far out there. I didn't get into a whole lot of experimentation. I didn't like to put a whole bunch of different things in the enema thing. I kind of kept it, lemon juice or lime juice. Sort of kept it right there, but yeah. That is what is going on. So anyway, hey, I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're checking the channel out, be sure to subscribe. Hit that little bell on there. Then you always see when I upload videos, and get ready. Got a lot of stuff coming out. I'm looking at maybe November. I'd like to release the e-course in November officially. To folks out there, because there's once I get it done, there's some things that I need to do to get ready to really put it out there. But I'm looking at November. Also have the physical fitness book is going to be coming out, which is Ehret's lost writings on physical fitness, and there's actually kind of it's more of a couple philosophical papers, but. That's coming out on this channel. There's actually going to be some videos of Danielle Miranda demonstrating exercises from the Mucus-free Diet book. Those videos will be coming out. I anticipate sometime in September, so stay tuned with that, and you'll be able to exercise right along with the video. You can do all of Ehret's exercises. Right along with the video, so that's something that's gonna be coming soon, and so keep on pushing, keep on transitioning, keep on studying, keep on having fun, enjoy your life, and until next time, peace, love, and breath.